In this video, I'll provide you a detailed breakdown of the lessons learned process and the importance of knowledge transfer in ensuring continuous improvement across the project, where it aligns with the PMI best practices for capturing the project insights, integrating them into the organizational knowledge base. Lessons learned capture is one of these keys. Lessons learned capture the success and the challenges and the areas for improvement in the project. PMI emphasizes that documenting and transferring this knowledge is essential for avoiding repeating mistakes, also improving the efficiency. Organizations that capture these lessons learned it benefit from it by having a better decision making and avoid falling to the same repetitive mistakes and also in risk management and operational performance. But what exactly the importance of documenting these lessons learned? Capturing the lessons learned ensures that the project teams can refine their approaches, improve the execution, and prevent avoidable setbacks. PMI advocate a structured approach to lessons learned documentation to drive the continuous organizational learning and process enhancements. Why it matters? Documenting these lessons learned, it can prevent repeating or the repetition of mistakes in the future project. Also, it improves the project efficiency and decision making and enhances the organizational learning and or capability development. It also strengthens the risk management by identifying the patterns, and finally, it aligns with the PMI best practices for continuous improvement. And let's talk about what are these pitfalls in case that your lessons learned weren't captured. So think of that you are running a project and you are not capturing any of these lessons learned. You might reoccur or face some of the project failures due to the same mistakes. You may also lose of the critical knowledge when the key personnel leaves. So in cases that you have a project manager who were, let's say, keeping all of these lessons learned within his, let's say, repository without sharing it to the organization, and suddenly he leaves or he go for a better opportunity, and then you might have or risk a lose of all of this critical knowledge when this personnel leave. Also, some of these pitfalls in case that you don't capture these lessons, the inefficient project execution due to the lack of historical insights, and finally the increased of the project risks from the unaddressed issues. So these are the pitfalls that you can avoid by ensuring that you are capturing these lessons learned, documenting it, and sharing it with the organizational base. And to conduct these lessons learned sessions, a well executed lessons learned session involves gathering the insights from all of the stakeholders, also analyzing the key findings and systematically document. PMI recommends that these sessions should be integral part of the project lifecycle, not just only at the closing phase, but also at each of the project key process to ensure that you are maximizing the value of each of these lessons. And the key steps here, which is involved when, let's say, having a lessons learned session. First, you need to plan the session by defining the objectives, the participants, and the structure of that session. Next, you need to gather insight by identifying what went well, what does need an improvement. After that, you need to analyze the findings, and by analyzing the findings, it's like categorizing all of the issues and how did you overcome them. Also, writing the best practices to overcome these challenges. After you analyze these findings, you need to document the lessons learned by capturing the insights into an organized format. After you document these lessons, you need to share it with the stakeholders and ensure the implementation of these lessons for their projects by distributing the findings across the organizations or the organization or keeping it at the organizational base. And let me give you the best practices also for having an effective lessons learned sessions. You need first to conduct these sessions at the key project milestones, not just at the end of the project. Also, one of these best practices to have an effective lessons learned sessions is to encourage open and honest feedback from all of the team members. You also may use a structured templates to standardize the documentation across all of these milestones when you are conducting sessions. Also, you need to assign a responsibility for follow-up actions. So you need to ensure that whatever, let's say, actions or lessons that were documented and shared need to be, let's say, implemented in real-world future projects to avoid falling into these, let's say, pitfalls that we already have highlighted before. So you need to assign the responsibility for following up on these actions. Capturing the best practices for the future project. So, identifying and documenting the best practices ensures that the project teams can replicate the success in the future engagement. PMI emphasizes leveraging historical project insight to refine the methodology, enhance the risk management, and improve the stakeholder engagement. And these methods is mainly used to identify the best practices by reviewing the high performing project for repeatable success strategies, also by analyzing the root causes of the project failures to avoid the future issues, benchmarking against the industry standards and PMI guidelines, and finally, utilizing and using the historical project data for trend analysis and forecasting. And to ensure documenting these best practices, so also I'm going to share with you the best practices, let's say, documenting of these, let's say, best practices by ensuring that you have a description of the successful strategies and approaches. You also factors that the factors that contributed to the project success, the potential risks and mitigation strategies, and finally recommendation for the future project teams. We talked about creating an organizational knowledge base, which should be there as the organization grow and they are having many projects. So they need to have this organizational knowledge base. So creating an organizational knowledge base centralizes a valuable project insight, making them accessible for the future teams. PMI highlights the importance of knowledge management, driving the consistency and operational excellence across the project. When you are planning to create this organization knowledge base, think of these key components of the knowledge base which should contain, including, let's say, a centralized repository for the lessons learned documents, the categorization or categorization by the project type or industry and complexity, the access control to ensure secure information sharing and integration with the project management tools and methodology. And the benefits of having a knowledge base within your organization is by to, let's say, to enable cross project learning and knowledge reuse. It also reduces the reliance on individual expertise. You also enhance decision making through historical insights and previous project data. For sure that you're gonna improve the project execution efficiency in case that you are, let's say, utilizing these knowledge bases. Look at each of these pitfalls and how to avoid them. And here are the some of these tools that can be used to document the lessons learned. Using the right tools and techniques ensures the lessons learned are documented in a structured and usable format. Some of these common tools, like the lessons learned register, knowledge management system, and surveys and feedback mechanism, you may also have heard of the retrospective when handling agile project to analyze the reports. And some of these techniques to have an effective documentation is by again standardizing the templates for consistency, categorizing all of the lessons learned by the plan, the phase, or the risk or domain, visualizing these summaries like charts or dashboards for quick reference. Finally, one of these effective implementation technique is to have a periodic reviews and updates to ensure the relevance of these lessons learned. When it comes to integrate the lessons learned into future projects, so this is the main purpose of having lessons learned. Capturing the lessons learned is only valuable if they are applied in the future project. PMI recommend embedding these insights into project planning, risk management, training to drive long term. The methods to apply these lessons learned in the future project need to incorporate the lessons learned into the project planning templates. You also need to use the historical insight and risk management strategies and training the project teams on past experiences and best practices that were captured on the previous project. Finally, establishing a feedback loop for continuous improvement. Here is the role of the leadership in knowledge transfer. Leadership plays a crucial role in ensuring the lessons learned are systematically captured and applied. Team I highlights that the strong leadership commitment is necessary to improve the culture and to enhance the culture and motivate a culture of continuous learning. But how leadership supports knowledge retention? Leadership encourage a culture of learning and improvement, and mandating a documentation of the project insights and lessons learned. Also, the leadership or the leaders or the managers can allocate the resources for knowledge sharing initiatives. And finally, by recognizing and rewarding the teams that contribute to lessons learned and capturing and these lessons learned, also applying these lessons learned. So, this is how the leadership can support the retention. Here are some of these common challenges in capturing and using the lessons learned. Many organizations struggles with capturing and utilizing the lessons learned effectively. EMI recommends overcoming these challenges by fostering an open feedback culture and using structured documentation methods and ensuring the accessibility of these insights. So again, these let's say common challenges include the resistance to share the mistakes, due the fear of criticism. Also, one of these challenges is lack of standardized documentation processes, and sometimes you might face that the knowledge loss when employees leave the organization, where I said need to enhance and to ensure that all of your project managers are following the documenting the lessons learned, sessions, meetings. And one of these challenges also about which is difficulty in retrieving the relevant insight from the past project in case if there is no, let's say, consolidated repository for the organization that is being organized in a way that it categorize all of the lessons learned by the project domain or by the project type, and the year, for example. So ensure that you have a retrieval system that you could store all of these lessons learned and you can organize it in a way that the relevant insight can be used for the future project. And to summarize our session here on capturing the lessons learned with its importance and best practices, we say that lessons learned ensures the continuous improvement in the project management. And by conducting a structured lessons learned sessions, you will ensure capturing the valuable insights that can be used for the future project. We talked also about the importance of creating a knowledge base to enable cross project learning. And we also talked about the leadership, let's say, role when playing, which is the leadership plays a vital role in driving the knowledge transfer initiatives. Finally, we looked at the future project, how it can benefit from systematically applying these past lessons to ensure the future project success.